Welcome back to another episode of the Griftcast IRL, the best worst show on the internet, and I'll be your host today, Manuel Chavez III, or the Turd, depending on how you know me. Yes, it's another episode today, and boy, oh boy, I'm excited to be here with you guys. Good evening to all of you who out there that decide that you would like to partake in this epic level of mediocrity. Yes, the epic level of mediocrity that we all share and co-create within here on this amazing interpersonal whatever the hell this is. So, yeah. Man, dude, things are getting a little bit weird, I think. A lot of people are starting to go through the same things that I went through many years ago on YouTube with alternative platforms, but it sounds like a lot of creators are leaving YouTube today for some reason, or at least over the last couple of days, and moving on over to Rumble and Kick and other areas. And it makes me wonder if I should do the same thing and then, you know, save some money every month by not paying for Restream and just directly streaming to one channel, right? Like, should we just stream to Rumble now forever and ever and say F YouTube? I mean, that seems like it would be a killer for growth, right? But to be perfectly honest, we're getting more viewership on Rumble than we are on YouTube, which is pretty insane when you go to think about all of that thing with the numbers and everything. So lots of decisions for us to make. But that's not the only stuff that we're even going to be talking about today. We got Biden stuff. We got stuff about other streamers. We're going to talk about a supermassive black hole that was just found at the center of the universe. Apparently, there's 5 different asteroids that are on a near-Earth approach that could end everything in the world. So it's like, I feel like we're in apocalypse zone because what is it? Yesterday we talked about supermassive volcanoes and the ozone hole. And then today we're talking about black holes and the heat death of the universe and then the possibility of all of us being destroyed by a gigantic rock crushing us with its kinetic energy. Yeah, sounds great, actually. Sounds really cool. Sounds real cool, man. And then, oh yeah, there's some Jeffrey Epstein stuff. People are now interconnecting the mysterious death of James Crown to the Jeffrey Epstein conspiracy. And interestingly enough, I do believe that is one name that never appeared in that 2017 investigation that we did before anybody knew who Jeffrey Epstein was. And even more so, last night I was doing a Twitter space. You know how much I dislike Twitter spaces, right? I'm all like, yo, why don't we have video, right? Like on Periscope, see, like you could just start a live stream from your phone, right? And then people could call in to your live stream the same way that it happens in Periscope. And they could be audio or they could be video, right? Does anybody remember that shit? I remember that shit. That seemed to be the best way to run a show on Twitter, but those losers that run that place now, they don't seem to understand technology. And I know everybody likes to suck Elon Musk's dick about all of this stuff, but let me be the first to remind you that he does not create all the things that he pays for. That's the smart people that work for him, you dumbasses. And I'm not saying you guys that are out there watching or whatever, but I am referring to the dumbasses that say that shit. You know what I mean? World's coming to the end. We might all die. So, you know, since, you know, ending seems to be the thing, I'm going to break into our woo-woo 1111 crazy talk shit from the Progress Group. And to them, they believe that it is pertinent for you to know this. To that glorious end is the subject of this particular message I was received 15 hours ago by me, but was actually penned and written on Aratna on August 22nd of 2006. And by the way, Arantia, that's just another way of saying Earth. Okay? Just in case you didn't know. Earth and Arantia, they're the same place. It's the same name. The aliens, that's what they call this place, Arantia. But we call it the Earth. So, Just in case you were like wondering or whatever. I'm just here to educate you to the amazing things that these crazy people think about. So today, this is a message from a teacher, and the teacher's name is simply the Beloved. And obviously it was received by Lystick. So here we go. From the Beloved. The expression from your master Jesus when he said, "Take up your cross daily and follow me," states a simple truth. It means for you to daily crucify any negative thoughts and emotions, as well as anything else that hinders your progress on the way to paradise. This is also the manner in which you lighten your burden of guilt and shame when you hand all of them over to the Creator. In spirit, reality, guilt, and shame do not exist, except as a speck of dust blown away by the wind. Can you now see your earth life is a beginning kindergarten student being prepared for all further schooling which is to follow, even before you become a junior spirit? The time intervening between mortal life and spirit life is spent in training on the Merentia worlds, to which Jesus alluded to when he said, in the house of my Father are many mansions. These are the many abodes on the worlds where you will be companioned and taught, which are best suited to train you for your intimate potential towards eternal actualization. However, your progress always depends on self-motivation and willingness to move forward, and on how dedicated you are towards self-mastery. Your baser nature and its creature tendencies will need to be crucified so that your budding spirit nature can begin to blossom and flourish in eternal life. In this mortal estate, you are laying the foundation for creating a sincere, honest, and love-saturated heart towards all living things and beings in the universe, and in the universes beyond. It is your attitude, your actions, and especially your state of mind where you will be growing into greater harmony and balance. I know that I keep repeating myself here, but it is necessary for you to understand that I desire for you to acquire a faith-filled, trusting, close, and personal relationship with God. To that glorious end, He has sent me, your personal mystery monitor. Along with this gift of God, your Master Jesus has sent the Spirit of truth at the Pentecost, while at the same time the Holy Spirit was gifted by the Mother Spirit. We have all volunteered to help each mortal reach that desired estate of eternal life and to grow into the greater perfection with each passing day. Therefore, practice your daily stillness so that you may be strengthened in your daily life. Yeah. So, if you really think about all this stuff, what does it really mean? I mean, it could mean a lot to you. I really don't know how you're supposed to take it. All I know is that what I'm supposed to do is tell it to you. A lot of people don't want to have an interconnection or a relationship or a close personal anything with anything considered to be a god. And that's okay, I think, for those people, but it does get in the way with the greater understanding of you and where you're at in the universe and how you fit into the grand design of everything. And I do believe that people should take time every single day to sit in stillness and practice listening, because you are an amazing individual with many more powers than you ever believed that you ever had. And like me, I've learned throughout my life that there are many things that I am capable of doing that simply I should not have been able to do. Whether it's manipulating computers with the simple thought or changing street lights just because I want to get somewhere just a little bit faster. If you sit in stillness long enough, you'll be able to interact with all the other things that also sit stillly within the totality of the universe. Some people might even distinguish it as being something akin to the Force, because if you remember in the Star Wars trilogies, the Force was something that permeated all things. And like in this universe, there is a force that does permeate all things. It's only up to you as a human being to finally take the time to interact with that subtle force that exists within all things and learn to shape it and utilize it to your nature. But it cannot be forced, because forcing things just doesn't simply to work. It has to be co-opted or co-created, I believe, in some kinds of ways. Many people out there have lost their way. And I think that the more time that we spend here on Earth learning how to become the better version of ourselves, the easier it is going to be for us to move into the self-actualization of who we really are and who we are meant to be. Because many of us aren't the people that we are meant to be, right? Many of us are fighting every single day and working towards the perfection of everything, but you always start off at the worst of things, don't you? Yeah. In actuality, you're never going to be the best at something when you first start out. You might actually be the worst at it. So possibly there's some kind of interesting lesson in the name of Griftcast and how this entire thing is flowed out. Because when we look at the individuals that we've dealt with over time here on this channel, you'll begin to realize that many people don't realize that this is a daily thing for me. I make sure to interact and read into this stuff because I want to have a greater connection with the universe. And I do feel that it is necessary for individuals with all gifts that I have to share them with other people. Yet, the way that I do it, the way I go about it, seems to negatively impact some individuals. And there's a reason for it. But, you know, as I sit here, almost like a thought adjuster for you in person, all I'm really asking you to do is listen to yourself and follow that indwelling spirit that's always existed within inside of you. Whether you listen to it or not, whether you're ignoring its words or not, it's still going to be there regardless. And you might consider it as being part of your consciousness, because that technically is what it is. You know, your conscious is there for a reason, and the conscious and the thought adjuster kind of do start to seem like same thing. You know, that little voice inside of your head that says, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe that's not for the greater and best good of you. But then again, there's so many lost individuals out there that are stuck in pride and infamy and all those other negative emotions. And I mean, they celebrate debauchery and all this other shit for an entire month. And that's when you start to realize that there are people that want to be in unity with the all, like the Father, and then there's people that want to separate themselves from the unity of everything, a more Luciferian state of mind, as it were. Yet many of those people don't even believe in Lucifer or God. They're just simply immoral because they don't see the point in it all, which is just a really weird, strange thing. And then that's when you'll start to realize that angels, demons, and all these other things actually do exist. And sometimes they're inside the people that you're looking at every single day. You know, you've seen a demon before, my friends. You've seen them walking around in skin suits before. Oh, yes. You may not have noticed it, but you felt it. You probably smelled it. You probably had that weird feeling where the little hairs on the back of your neck stand up, and when this person's around you, you just don't feel right. You feel like, I know I'm looking at a human being, but there's something off about this one. Take the time. Because all of that shit that you thought didn't exist, unfortunately does exist. You see, the universe is infinite, right? So in an infinite universe, that means that everything that could be possible probably exists somewhere within inside of it. Just might not be next to you. But, you know, since we're like flying through this fucking universe, spinning really fucking fast or whatever, you know, like we come into different places all the time. So you might actually have to think about that for at least a little bit. So enough spirituality talk, I guess. Just trying to give you a little bit of a thought-provoking piece of information to take you on into the future. Right. Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird, right? Remember, you're meat. You're made out of meat. You're flapping your meat at other people. And here I am just flapping my meat at you. So take that and do with it what you will. Other than that, on to the next story. Well, scary shit. This is an image of the universe's goatsy, I guess, or at least one of them. Astronomers have discovered the largest black hole ever, and it's 30 billion times, 30 billion times greater in size than our sun. So take our sun, multiply it by 30 billion, and that's how big that one supermassive black hole is. And the astronomers are now saying, well, physics and everything else might be changed in some kind of way, because we've always postulated that there is a supermassive black hole at the very center of our galaxy. And this black hole is bigger than the one that we thought was at the center of our supermassive galaxy. And it actually approaches the upper limits in size of what we thought was possible for a black hole. Meaning that, well, as always, math is going to need to be expanded and people are going to need to figure that shit out. So they were able to discover it utilizing a curious form of gravitational lensings. And basically that means that they found it with gravity and bent light. That's how they were able to locate the largest black hole in the entire or not in the entire universe. It's just the largest one that we found now. But now we definitely know that the ones at the center of the galaxy, if that one's 30 billion times, the other one is probably like 100 trillion times bigger than that, which completely blows away any understanding that we thought we knew about this. But you know, what's in the inside of it? Is it like its own little pocket universe? Are we being sucked into this, but through time dilation, the time dilations that we're experiencing through time, meaning, you know, the time that we experience, maybe we've already been sucked into this thing. And then, you know, the time dilation field from it speeds things up or slows things down to us. So we just don't even really fucking know. You never know. You never know. But yes, it's farther away from Earth, and it's just kind of crazy to think that these things are just going to be getting even bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But yeah, like my whole thing on it though is that, you know, like the first time I saw it, I was like, dude, is that a fucking goatsy? Am I being trolled right now by fucking these guys? Because that's exactly what it looks like. The all-consuming eye, the dark eye of the Lord, the asshole of eternity, whatever that could be, right? Is there a being inside of that thing? You never know. Maybe there's a whole entire universe inside of that thing. I don't think in our lifetime that we're going to find out about that. Although it would be pretty interesting. It would be pretty interesting. Indeed. Indeed. So I figured, wow, gravity waves, cosmic background gravity. It's like the cosmic microwave background. Yeah, J.R. Riggs is right. You know, the big part of the story here is that they actually detected gravitational waves, which is weird because we haven't been able to really do that in any type of way that has been meaningful. And this is the first time that they've been able to detect those gravitational waves and then utilize the detection of those gravitational waves to search for the bent light that actually allowed them to take a picture of this thing in the first place, which is pretty insane, which means that here in the very near future, they should be able to start looking for the effects of gravitational lensing in a localized field, meaning that they'll be able to detect for this type of lensing around the planet, and then they'll start to locate those the teleporters, because that's how they work. Which is kind of weird, but you'll notice that there will be spots around the globe that actually create these lensings. So in the near future, astronomers and scientists will be studying the globe, and they'll find that many of the megalithic sites from the world offer a very interesting thing in our atmosphere, I guess is the easiest way to put it. I don't want to be too big about it, but all of the megalithic structures can create these gravitational lensing artifacts at certain places around the globe in the atmosphere, and I think there's a reason for it. Might make it easier for somebody to get their ship down. But then again, I guess that's it, you know. And even more so, it actually is a funny thing when they talk about gravitational waves, because if you ever remember hearing any of the stories about Norse mythology, they talk about Thor, Odin, and all those other guys. What was the thing that they were doing? They were flying a ship around the earth, pulling the sun, right? And that's how the sun was like moving around. But somehow this ship in space was able to, you know, travel without having like engines and shit. Maybe the sails were picking something else up. You know, was it sailing on light? Because we know we can utilize light to sail, but I mean, imagine if you could sail on gravity waves. That would be something crazy, wouldn't it? Yeah. Kind of crazy, wouldn't it be? Well, in other news, since it's already out here, and we were already discussing it earlier, apparently my boys at NASA are tracking a potentially hazardous asteroid set to pass Earth on Wednesday. The huge rock named 2013 WV44 measures 160 meters in diameter and is roughly the same length as the Blackpool Tower. Very interesting indeed. It's actually NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory out of California that has been talking about these asteroid approaches, right? And they're saying that there's supposed to be one that's bus size that's coming over on the 27th. We got another one that's airplane size coming over on the 27th. Another one that's airplane size that's coming over the 27th. And then we have that one that's building size that's coming over on the 27th. So there's like a lot of really big space rocks that are considered to be small bodies that are making a very, very close pass to the Earth again. So, you know, for all you Armageddon fans out there, you might be at least worried a little bit this week that we might be crushed by a rock. But since they're, you know, like they're pretty big, but they're not that big. I mean, that'll like maybe wipe out a state. Maybe, you know, not that much. It's like a state. I mean, we could do without a state, right? No. It's not up for us to decide or whatever, but it is up for us to actually at least be aware of these close encounters. So yeah, over the next couple of days, the 27th, tonight and tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of asteroids flying by. And as you would know, those miles between us and those asteroids keeps on getting lower and lower and lower. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Why is that? I don't know. I think it's math or something like that. Think it's math. Well, actually, let's just go to that one because this is the funny next one. No, yeah. In other news, some strangeness has been being reported by Reuters. They've revealed that every living president today in the United States is the descendant of a slaveholder. Yep, that's a fact. All except for, well, Donald Trump, of course. But yes, Jimmy Carter, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden are found to have been direct descendants from slaveholders. Wow. Direct descendants from slaveholders? Barack Obama owned slaves? Well, technically his white family member did, but you know what? It's a thing that, you know, they actually went and looked into. And the only president living at this time that has a family that's never owned slaves or people of any kind was Donald Trump, which is pretty fucking insane. Yes, Obama's ancestors who enslaved others were through his mother's side. Yep. Yep. So there's probably a huge in the background. And it's kind of funny because like a lot of these guys, or some of these guys, are actually Democrats, which would make sense since, you know, the Democratic Party was the party of slavery. That's why they got created, is because they were trying to fight for it or whatever. But yeah, census records that were reviewed showed that Biden's great-great-great-grandfather enslaved a 14-year-old in 1850. Politico found another third great-grandfather, Jess Robinette, enslaved people in Maryland's Allegheny County in the 1800 census. The examination found that the Supreme Court Justices Amy Coney Barrett, Neil Gorsuch, 11 governors, and 100 legislators from the 117th Congress are descendants of slaveholders. Lawmakers who descended from slaveholders include Republican Senator Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Tom Cotton, James Larkin, as well as Democrats Elizabeth Warren, Tammy Duckworth, Jenny Sheehan, and Maggie Hansen. Holy shit, Tonto's family owned slaves? Indians owned slaves? I don't think that's right. That just kind of makes it even funnier because, you know, she was not Indian, she was white, and then now her family owned slaves. It all makes sense. She's the colonizer. She's the colonizer. That's kind of hilarious if you ask me. Yeah, that's kind of hilarious if you ask me. So I guess they're just undocumented workers at this point, right? But isn't that just an interesting little question? Trump's the only one that didn't own people at some point in time in his life, and his family did. I think that's just a good piece of factual information for everybody to know. Oh my God. I just think it's kind of crazy. I've been seeing this one all over the internet today. A lot of left-wing disinformation accounts were attacking Roseanne Barr today because she claimed that no one died in the Holocaust on the Theo Von podcast, it seems. It's called This Past Weekend, and the host is Theo Von. And yeah, apparently she went all crazy on the stream, and everybody clipped a little part of her talking about the Holocaust where she says that nobody died. And I mean, that's just kind of crazy right now. It's just kind of crazy, actually. And I don't want anybody to forget that Roseanne Barr is 100% Jewish, right? She's actually totally Jewish. But yeah,
when I ran for,
I was seeing a lot of clips being posted today about what Roseanne said, but she was obviously utilizing sarcasm and satire, but everybody clipped that little part of her saying that, and they were all basically being really mad at her. But here's the full little clip that you should probably watch.
for president in 2012.
Yeah, it's really weird when, you know, somebody that's Jewish says something like this, and literally all of the news articles are talking about it, but they miscontextualize what she actually said. All right, Sewer Guy Rob, 48-month member, with a message that says, thank you, man. Well, thank you for being my personal thought adjuster for the last 7 years. I love you like a brother. Much love. Hey, man, thank you for being a member on the channel and hooking us up, man. At least somebody throws money at us, even though we don't even ask for it anymore, which is kind of funny because I got in an argument last night with some dude that was like saying all this grift shit. And he was like, well, you got to respect the grift. And I was like, no, I don't. I actually don't respect the grift. And he was like, but you run the Griftcast. And I was like, yeah, dumbass, it's a fucking joke. The only reason we changed the name of the channel is because everybody else was grifting off of the Eliza Blue situation. So I spent money to make fun of all of them, which is why they all don't like me, because I emasculated them utilizing their own tactics. And like, there's a reason I'm not sitting up here asking for donations and all this other shit. It's because y'all already know what you're supposed to do. And if you want to do bad, that's fine by me. You can do whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit. But, you know, it's just exhausting for me, honestly. It's like, I can't be somebody who I'm not. I can act like it, you know, I could do some improv, but like, it still seems that a lot of people don't understand, you know, what I'm all about, apparently. But whatever, dude, you know, it's just the world, right? We just have to keep moving on, as it were, and eventually this thing will go somewhere, or it won't. Either way, at least I'm not going to be bored. By the way, that's not sarcasm. That's real. That's the truth. She's trolling, but that's the thing that you probably don't want to hear, is that you can win a presidential election with only 36 counties because you can still get 81 million votes out of it. And I mean, yeah, that sucks for a lot of people, but I think still a lot of folks didn't realize that the 2016 election was big, but it really got people up and on point for the 2020 election. But I respect what she says right there because it's honest. You know, that's not sarcastic. She's still slightly making fun of the reasoning behind it, but she's at least being prescient enough to understand that. Yeah. There you go. So everybody's basically been sharing that little portion of the clip. So she spends about it's 2 minutes and 50 seconds in when he's like, oh my God, did you just fucking say that? Because obviously the Holocaust did happen. A lot of people did die. You know, like, I'm not going to argue with people or even attempt to because A, I'm not Jewish, and B, I fucking wasn't there. And C, I read the history books and read all that other shit, and I don't know. It seems like there's enough evidence for me to believe that that should happen. But, you know, you could see Theo sitting here just kind of like, what the fuck is going on right now? Because she literally said some pretty prescient and, like, knowledgeable stuff about the fucking election, and then she follows it up with this shit? Like, are you fucking kidding me? That was like, I don't know if she's just trolling, but it was just so deadpan that, like, I don't understand how a Jewish person could be so subversive. But that's the thing, is that I feel like that's what she's doing. She's being subversive, right? That's subversive. That's subversivism in her nature. And to the point, she got so subversive that she got all of these people to start talking about this situation. Right. So, like, I don't agree with anybody talking about that. And honestly, I think that it's bad that people did that. Like, that's why I don't even talk to fucking Nathan Slopeman, because he told me that he was lying and he was just playing a character when he was making his claims about the Holocaust. And then all of a sudden I set up a fucking debate with him and Gabe Hoffman, and then he chickens out, and you know what? Now he's on some fucking crazy shit. So I don't even mess with the dude anymore. I don't even answer his DMs. I'm just kind of like, fuck off, dude. Go away. So is this fucking, like, is she trying to troll this guy? You know, somebody in the chat, Ash Willfully, says Theo is watching his career burn. Yeah. And, like, seriously, like, is she doing this because she's trying to get this guy canceled, right? Like, because he had no idea that she was going to come out with something like that. He looked shocked. Absolutely shocked. And for someone who is of that culture, you know, the culture of all people that dies, coming out and saying all that shit, like, that's literally the most anti-Semitic thing that I've ever heard. But, like, it's just kind of fucking crazy, dude. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy.
It never happened. But it never happened.
Yeah.
Mandated.
Do you see him? Look at him. He's just like, oh, God, what am I going to do with this shit? Oh, I got to fucking fix this shit. Oh, shit, the breakdown with Greg Hoyt, a $2 super chat. Hi, friend, hope all is well. Hi, Greg. Yeah, things seem to be going all right. Just over here in the slums doing our slum thing, you know? Talk about Roseanne Barr, the QAnon queen. Like, I still don't know how this chick got into fucking QAnon. I tried to talk to her. I tried to interview her for the channel. She didn't even want to give me the time of day, which is sad because most people don't want to give me the time of day because I'm just a fat, ugly Mexican. But you know what? One day I'm going to be super beefy and have this fucking fishy show. All right. So there's the full context of the clip, which is crazy because every single person that I've seen posting the clip has cut off the part where she says that she's 100% Jewish. And I mean, like, I don't know if she's wrong. I mean, I there's a lot of Jewish people that allegedly work in Hollywood, but then there's also a lot of people that are not Jewish that work in Hollywood. I don't know, though. All I really know is that out of everyone in the entire world, I am the bane of Hollywood's existence because through Ninja Video and Release.net, we really, really, really fuck with their shit for many, many years to the point where they actually had to start streaming their shows. And it's only been further destabilizing their internal economy. And this is something that I started many, many years ago. So to me, it's just kind of like funny to watch all this shit happen. But I don't know, man. Roseanne Barr has always been a crazy person. I don't know how Theo decided that he wanted to get on that shit, but it's just kind of like, goddamn, Roseanne Barr. Like, the fuck? Obviously, she's using sarcasm and satire, but it's so deadpan that it comes off in just the worst way possible, I think. Because, like, why the fuck would you say that? Why the fuck would you say that? Yeah, he's having second, third, fourth, fifth thoughts. It's not good. It's not good at all. Not good at all. Oh, well. Next news story. More than $200 billion in pandemic relief potentially squandered, says government watchdog reports. The sum amounts of approximately 17% of the $1.2 trillion that were dispersed by the SBA were squandered, wasted. People were buying Ferraris and shit like that. You know, got my Lamborghini. But yes, oh my God. The rush to prop up small businesses during the pandemic threatened to shatter the U.S. economy, and a hefty sum of approximately $1.2 trillion dispersed by the SBA was basically fucking wasted. Yep. Yeah, it says investigators from several agencies continue to trace and recover millions of dollars lost to fraud, waste, and other abuses. So far, $30 billion of those fraudulent funds, about 15% of the fraud, has been calculated as of May, but the reclaim through collaboration between Inspector General's Office, the SBA, and the Secret Service and other federal agencies. Huh. Interesting. That's cool, man. So I guess they're just talking about the Paycheck Protection Program and the economic injury disaster loans that were being, I don't know, abused by various individuals all across the country. See, I didn't take out any SBA loans or economic injury loans or any of that shit because, like, I'm super poor, so, like, it wouldn't even have mattered anyway. It'd have probably been like a leg up for me, though, but I didn't want to go to jail or prison or whatever. It seemed like a bad idea. Yeah. According to the report, there's a higher potential fraud in the EIDL program, which was low-interest disaster loans that were later require repayment. The Inspector General's office estimated that it was $136 billion of potential fraud in that program alone, representing 33% of the total funds dispersed. Damn. That's kind of fucked up. And they say the PPP program, which gave money to business that would later be forgiven, similar to a grant, the estimate was a potential fraud was lower, only a $64 billion, representing about 8% of the total funds that were sent out. Wow. So there was a lot of shady motherfuckers using programs for flooded business to basically get easy access to cash, and now they're getting caught for it. And it was found that the office of the SBA lowered the guardrails or relaxed internal controls, which significantly increased the risk of program fraud. A decision was made at the outset of the pandemic that speed was key. So they made sure that people could get sped through the program, and then they found out that that was a bad choice, it was a wrong choice, and it should have never happened. Wow. And the guy that was in charge predicted in a 2021 interview that in terms of monetary value, the amount of fraud in these COVID relief programs is going to be larger than any government program that came before it. The latest estimate is at least $200 billion in fraudulent funds. Wow. That's a lot of fucking money, man. That's a lot of fucking money. Oh, thanks to Greg Hoy for another $2 super chat. Shout out to all the old fag news groups and FTP enjoyers. Fuck, I don't even fucking use use Usenet news groups and FTP. Was you trying to get fucking caught? Dude?
In 2020, when the pandemic hit, Congress and the Trump administration moved quickly to get out trillions of dollars in economic aid to businesses in need of support.
But you can still use those or whatever. I just don't. I like being a scene king, even though I don't actually have to do anything anymore. I'm an old fag now. And I just tell the new fags, like, don't make money. And they're like, well, then how am I supposed to live? Get a fucking job, you shithead. That's how you stay out of jail, is that you don't make money. You can hack anything that you want. Almost. I mean, not anything. Like, don't fucking hack NASA and shit like that. They get mad at that shit. But, if you are going to play around in their computers, you just need to talk one of their administrators into verbally telling you their password, and then they can't indict you or do anything to you, apparently. Anyways, not telling that story. Hundreds of devices found violating new CISA federal agency directives. Oh, wow. Wow. What? Really? That's crazy. So if you don't know, CISA is the government agency that I have done work for during the pandemic to repair critical infrastructure or some shit like that. And they were doing these major analyses, actually, of government infrastructure on specifically attack surfaces for more than 50 federal civilian executive branch organizations that led to the discovery of more than 13 individual hosts exposed to the internet, access distributed over 100 systems linked to FCEB agencies. And of these, more than 1,300 internet exposed hosts can be accessed through IPv4 addresses, with hundreds allowing access to management interfaces of various network applications. Most of you guys are just like, what the fuck does that all mean? And basically what that's saying, the TLDR on that is that, so the government agency that's supposed to review all that stuff went ahead and reviewed it, and it found that we were definitely wide fucking open like a bitch. Oh, damn. Thanks, Eddie Ramirez, for that $10 super sticker with the guy crossing his arms with the little, like, fucking things coming down. The sunglasses. It's all right. Thanks, man. Thanks, man. We appreciate that. Eddie. Thank you, Eddie Ramirez. We appreciate that. So, what are they saying? We discovered nearly 250 instances of web interfaces for hosts exposing network appliances. Many were running remote protocols such as SSH and Telnet. Over 15 instances of exposed access protocols such as FTP, SMB, NetBIOS, and SNMT or MP were also found running on those hosts. They also discovered multiple servers hosting the Move It, Transfer, Go Anywhere NFT, and SolarWinds ServeView managed file transfer platforms, known attack vectors, and data theft attacks. Additionally, they identified over 10 hosts with exposed directory listings, posing a risk to data leakage, as well as Barracuda email security gateway appliances that were recently targeted in zero-day hacks. Oh my God. So, what we look at this situation is what we're seeing is that basically before CISA existed, that's basically saying that these government NGOs or these government organizations, not NGOs, have been basically severely weakened because they haven't been doing what they need to do. They've been leaving shit open for people to see so you can just log into it. They utilize insecure protocols for sharing and shit. They're utilizing programs that are known attack vectors for hacking and stuff, even though they already should have been off the SolarWinds situations after we had that big government hack for SolarWinds. No, guess what? They're still fucking using it. And they just got hacked again using the Move It Transfer file software. They're supposed to remove it from all of their computers. And guess what? They didn't do it. It's like they don't have enough people that have enough understanding how to take all this stuff down, and they're just letting it run. They're just letting it go and not doing anything. I mean, they also found another 150 instances of servers with end-of-life software such as Microsoft IIS, OpenSSL, XM softwares, and it's just like they're just leaving attack surfaces, and the government's supposed to be the best of the best at keeping all of these things together, and they can't do some of the most simple fucking things that are out there. Most of this stuff should be able to be automated, and if it's a system that's at its end of life, all they have to do is fucking place it. So what, you don't have somebody that can copy that thing from one server to another server and boot it back up? Like, what's the deal here, guys? Like, oh, well, we don't know if our old-ass software system that we're running on IIS that's super fucking old is going to run on the new one because we haven't paid anybody to fucking fix it or some shit. Is that what's going on? Like, so all internet exposed management interfaces found by Census networks on the federal agency's network have been secured or according to the CISA Binding Operational Directive 2302 within 14 days after being identified. CISA also announced that it's going to scan for devices and interfaces that fall within the scope of the directive and inform entities about the findings. They're going to scan devices and interfaces. So the government's constantly already scanning devices and interfaces all day long, but now they're going to be focused on looking through on some of these directives. And I mean, this was something that they had just said not that long ago, because they're supposed to be restricting access to all of this stuff. They're supposed to be protecting these things. And it's a directive that just came out, and it's almost like these people aren't taking it seriously. A lot of them are not, like, when people are warning them for this and telling them to fix this, they never fix the shit, dude. I tell them all the time. And guess what? They never fucking listen to me. And then they wonder why they get fucked. They wonder why they keep getting fucked. Just weird. Sorry, we can't take the dictations from a high-risk individual such as yourself. Well, maybe you should, because some of us are better than the rest of us. Huh. It only took 10 words for Twitter's new CEO to explain why you shouldn't want to work there. And it's all about how you define success. If you guys didn't remember, Twitter has a new CEO, and her name is Linda Yaccarino, and she hasn't been on the job for very long, but she's already pissing off a shitload of people, including people that are on Twitter. And it seems like we're already back to old Twitter in a lot of ways. Many conservative accounts have already started to get shut down or taken down. Deboosting and all of that stuff seemed to start right back up the second that she joined herself back onto the second she seems to have joined the team. Elon Musk has already taken a backseat on Twitter, and that's why a lot of this shitty tech like Spaces and other stuff that they're utilizing is basically becoming popular, because they're basically giving lowlifes the ability to be faceless on the internet to grift money, which is fine, but it is what it is. And now Twitter's basically kind of in a weird way. They haven't been paying rent for a lot of things. They haven't been paying for a lot of their bills, basically, which is kind of fucking hilarious. And I mean, Elon Musk is probably one of the best people at not paying his bill and pushing it out many years. I mean, he eventually will pay him, but he's such a miser that he just kind of puts it off and keeps like edging it out as far as you can, you know, like he's the kind of guy that's going to be on like a net 60 or he's going to be on a net 6 months. He's like, yeah, you're going to make me all of my shit. Next year, I'm going to pay you. So right now, Google Cloud is super pissed off. Google is pissed off at Twitter because it hasn't been paying its bills to the platform. And they utilize a shitload of Google's cloud in order to run their infrastructure. And on top of that, there was a bunch of offices and other places that they basically haven't been paying for and they got evicted from, right? And literally the next thing that they're about to get evicted from is going to be the Google Cloud. And as far as I am aware, Elon Musk does not have the capabilities in his data centers to specifically operate a platform like Twitter. I mean, they have all this AI shit, but I just have been to the place before to install stuff, and I don't see how they're going to. I don't see where he's going to add it. I mean, it seems like they might have some sort of data center somewhere that they're going to utilize for it, but like right now, Linda Yasserino has been in video calls with Google's cloud CEO, Thomas Curran, and she's been trying to patch things over and coming away with the possibility of maybe even Google spending more money on Twitter to advertise. But right now, they're basically making backroom deals to keep Twitter alive, because there's a strong possibility that in the next week or 2 or 3, maybe, that if Elon Musk and Twitter don't pay their bills or negotiate a settlement at a lower price, they're gonna get booted off the Google Cloud platform, and then they're going to, I don't know, I mean, if they've already migrated it somewhere else or something, but it's kind of insane actually what's really happening with it. And that's like the big focus of what's happening right now. But even more so, there's an email that Linda sent out to a bunch of her people, and here it is. Twitter's on a mission to become the world's most accurate real-time information in global town square for communication. We're on that precipice of making history, and that's not an empty promise. That's our reality. When you start wrapping your arms around this powerful vision, literally everything is possible. You will have to genuinely believe and work hard for that belief. And in this moment of complete reinvention, we have the opportunity to reach across the aisles, create new partnerships, celebrate new voices, and build something together that can change the world. And from what I can tell so far, you've built for this. The success of Twitter 2.0 is all of our responsibility. We need to think big. We need to transform, and we need to do it together. Wow. Super inspirational, bitch. That was fucking inspirational as shit right there. So she's basically saying, yeah, y'all are going to be working your asses off, and we're going to be doing the corpo thing where we basically grind your dicks into the dirt, and we're going to change this thing. But I mean, are they really going to change this thing? Is the World Economic Forum, darling, going to change it? No. That's what you should have known from a long time ago. Elon Musk ain't going to change anything. Like, all he did was buy something, and he hasn't added a single feature that's worth a shit since then. And I mean, even Spaces, like, oh yeah, people are using Spaces, but it's a clone of Clubhouse, and it still works shittier than Clubhouse. So, like, you know, sorry if I'm not like you and super optimistic about all that shit. I'm just, I guess, maybe I'm just, like, more educated to the reality of things. And it's really funny that she calls it Twitter 2.0, because technically we're in Twitter 3.0, right? Because Elon Musk's reign was Twitter 2.0, and Twitter 2.0 seemed to be running good. People were getting their accounts back. A lot of censorship went down, but ever since she got into the tank, it seems like the censorship is just ramp back the fuck up. And it seems like she's already making backroom video call deals with Google CEOs and shit like that to start censoring people again, because that's exactly what they should be doing. And they're saying that there's a lot of words that she's saying that are red flags, like success, Twitter 2.0, all of our responsibility. What? It's all of our responsibility? Well, it's all the people that are working for Twitter's responsibility to fix it. And right now, the responsibility of Twitter should be to, number one, stop wasting time, resources on fucking Twitter Spaces. Basically, just turn it off, because you've created the most toxic echo chamber that never needed to exist. Like, Clubhouse was a failure overall. They had to shut down because their product wasn't good enough, and there was no benefit to the people that were there. Even on Twitter, there is no benefit to being a Spaces host other than being able to lay on your bed and just talking to your cell phone, which you used to be able to do on Periscope, by the way, except for you could do the same thing that you did on Spaces, but then you had video, and then you could, like, put links and stuff up and show them to people while your face was up there and stuff. And you could even have people call in, and they could call in on video or just audio for all of those fucking bitches out there that can't put their face on the internet because they're fucking bitches, you know? So we need to pop these bubbles, right? Like, and that's the number one bubble that needs to get popped, is because the Twitter Spaces test has been a complete and utter failure. It's only basically driven some of the most scammy, shitty individuals to the top, because all these shitheads are doing is just sitting in their houses on their cell phones, constantly sitting on Twitter, putting out like this news and shit. And they already had a better process for it, utilizing the Periscope app, right? Like, we could have already done this, and it was 10 times better because there was an interpersonal relationship that you could actually create because you were seeing each other. And through Spaces, all you're getting are all of these faceless dickwads that think that they're educated as fuck, but really they're, you know, like half of them you just never needed to hear from them in the first place. And one of the best things about Periscope was the ability to make people get on camera, because you really did weed out all of the shitheads and trolls from the argument, because most of them ain't got the balls to put their faces on the internet. So, I mean, for Twitter 3.0 to succeed, they need to focus on video. We're in 2020 fucking 3, motherfuckers. Video is everything. Audio is garbage. Audio is what people used in fucking the 2000s, okay? At the same time, we found out back in the 2000s that there was a lot of shitheads in the audio spaces because they could hide themselves. So they need to come back with Periscope, because they need to have people on video. We need to be seeing these guys face to fucking face, and we need them to focus on creating better content instead of the shitty cell phone content that they're making, right? Like, why can't I join a Twitter space from the desktop and utilize my nice microphone to have a conversation? Would have really made this whole entire thing much better, wouldn't it? Oh, damn. Thanks, Eddie Ramirez, for that $4 super chat. It says, nothing can kill the truth. And that's right. That's right. So think about it. It's like, if Elon Musk would have had video and the ability to do Twitter Spaces on a computer, that Twitter Space that he did for the RFK announcement would have not been a complete fucking failure and joke, right? They could have just done a fucking Periscope stream, right? And they would have had video, great bikes, and everything. Like, that's the way that you're supposed to do this, isn't it? Oh, no, we're making history with this announcement on Twitter Spaces. Everybody suck each other's dicks. Yeah. It's really fucking stupid if you think about it, honestly. So I believe that there's probably a lot more weirdness that's going to be coming. And it's like, yeah, why can't I use my iPad for Spaces? Why can't I get on Spaces on a fucking Android tablet? Like, there's so many things that are just wrong with the way that this thing is coming forward. And then, you know, Elon Musk was talking about video. Where's all the video tools, dude? Where is my ability to upload videos and have them attached to my profile? Why can't I highlight videos on my profile? I literally pay for Twitter Blue and I don't even have access to that feature. So it's like, there's so many bad things happening right now with this move on Twitter's. So I'm just going to tell you the truth on how I honestly feel. Like, I felt like it was a great move for Elon buying it, but he's basically shot himself in the foot and completely taken away any of the forward motion that he might have had by hiring this person, by basically not actually innovating anything. Like, literally no innovation. Where's the crypto, Elon? I thought we were going to do some Dogecoin or something. Crypto tipping and Dogecoin. You know, and that only took us like a month to get it set up, right? And y'all, you're just not going to do it? Oh, what? You don't want to get kicked off of the Apple store? Is that what it is? I don't know. But that moves me into the next thing, since we're talking about Twitter. The guy that started Twitter, Jack Dorsey, started a new decentralized Twitter because he thought he was the greatest guy who ever lived. And he's already been having lots of problems because his decentralized Twitter is basically just a copy of the Fediverse, something that was already out there. So he didn't innovate or really do anything like that. He just stole somebody else's code and rewrote it. So, I mean, congratulations. And he's having trouble right now because his new app, Damus, is basically failing to comply with Apple's guidelines for in-app purchases and is going to get removed from the App Store. Yep. So the app that was built on Jack Dorsey's backed Nostr decentralized social platform has a feature called Zaps that lets user provide Bitcoin tips on posts they like. Something that we were the innovators on and did first, but everybody gives Jack Dorsey credit for some reason because, I guess he's just more popular and bigger cocksucker. I guess that's just the way it goes. This feature sets up red flags at the App Store review process, causing it to get rejected. Apple sees tips and in-app purchases for digital content, which can only be covered by Apple's in-app purchase system, so they have to remove the feature or they're going to get removed from the App Store. Which is kind of hilarious because, colloquially, Apple has been banning any crypto-type app from their App Store that has anything to do with tipping or anything like that. If it's outside of a simple wallet, they're pretty much rejecting it. And they decided to put it in there anyway, like they were going to be cool, and it was just going to be cool, even though they already knew that it wasn't cool. So just the fact that they're even having this problem in the first place is kind of them being dumbasses and shooting themselves in the foot because they already knew they couldn't do this. But they tried to do it anyway, and they got rejected on the update for it. So it's just kind of funny, man. It's funny. Wow, you really wanted to do Bitcoin shit on iPhones. You thought that was going to be fun. You really thought that Apple was going to approve your access to that portion of the phone. God, man, you guys are dumb. You're dumb as fuck. That's what I got to say. Y'all dumb as fuck, man. So I guess it's just kind of funny that that's part of the situation that we're all looking into with that little guy, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. And it's like these companies, Twitter is failing because Twitter's right now failing because they haven't risen to the occasion. And Damas and any of these new protocols that were created by Jack Dorsey aren't going to go anywhere either. They're going to be exactly like the Fediverse in every way imaginable. So we're actually looking at a bad situation here because Elon Musk is trying to act like he's all hot shit. I'm going to fight fucking Mark Zuckerberg. But let's just take it down to brass tacks here for a second. I could live stream on Facebook. I could do everything on Facebook. I could send payments. I could buy things. I could get movie tickets, play video games, use a dating app. So it's like Elon Musk is really hilarious in a lot of ways because his idea was to have the everything app that was X, and Facebook/Meta technically already is that, if you haven't noticed. And they got all of the money and back end for streaming and stuff. Twitter does not. That's why they're not pushing it. It's because they ain't got the money though. So, if Elon Musk gets his ass kicked by like fucking Mark Zuckerberg in real life, he's probably going to he's already getting his ass kicked online. Like literally, like, oh yeah, Twitter's growing and shit, but you know what do we got? We got Twitter Spaces. They got fucking a lot more shit. And their shit works a lot better. And I hate Facebook, but I was one of the first people on Facebook because I had a Harvard EDU email address and I was able to get myself signed on when you used to have a college address. So, like I was on there before all of y'all. Every single fucking one of you. Not a single one of you was on there before me. I fucking know because I saw you fucking join. And I'm just like, I'm not sending them a friend request. Why do you think I have that personalized name on the end of it? It's because when I put my page together, it was before they even fucking had pages. Motherfuckers. So, if you have normie friends, they use Facebook. I don't like to stream on Facebook because the way that their system works to me is still, dumb as fuck. But like Twitter is obviously in a place right now where they need some help. And until they start actually listening to the voice of reasons and, like the gods of social media, they're never going to really get anywhere because they're not innovating. They're not doing anything that's necessary until we got people running their shows like it runs on Rumble, until I got a video page where people can go watch all of my videos that are uploaded and live streamed, and until I have the ability to have metadata on those videos so that they actually get search rankings. Twitter ain't going nowhere, dude, other than down. That's it. That's why Twitch has always been a failure in my eyes. Like, yeah, you can go watch live content there, but they have no archive that's longer than 3 months because, it's expensive. But that's why YouTube was a success. That's why Facebook is a success. Shit. You know? You need that till you have it. I can't see Twitter doing anything. I'll see Twitter, making a lot of noise and a bunch of people acting like things are fucking way better than they are. But the reality, my friends, is, well, I just fucking told you. Like, I have my family on Facebook. You can follow my Facebook, but my Facebook is just facebook.com/Defango. I know you're fucking shocked, right? Yeah, like, you can go to my Facebook. You can see what I joined, all that shit. I got my friends on there. People from this stream, like, try to add me as a friend sometimes, and I'm all like, the fuck do you want? I don't look at Facebook. About the only time I ever get on Facebook nowadays is I go to Facebook, and then they got the little stories thing at the top, and then I just watch the stories of people. But most of the time, it's like, the fine bitches that I know that got big chi-chis or little chi-chis, and then I'm just checking them out, and then I'll be like, and it'd be like, damn, you looking fine today, or whatever. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Until we got more features, there's gonna be something going on. Well, since we were just talking about streaming, I guess I'll break into this next story. Popular live streamer that was banned from Twitch, Destiny, just signed a 7-figure contract with Kick. Yes, sir, they did. That just happened. Yeah, it's a real thing. So, yeah, Destiny is now going to be one of the richest. He's in the same ranks as our good friend XQC, I guess. Rich as fuck. So, yes, Destiny actually got himself a contract over at Kick, but his is actually a little bit different. It's not an exclusive contract. He's still going to stream on YouTube and Kick at the same time, and he basically only has like 2 stipulations that he really has to follow on his non-exclusive 12-month partnership with the platform. And it's basically, he's got to put the Kick live chat up on the screen like I just did right there. Like, I have all of the chats interconnected, so you can see the YouTube chat. Like, if I put tests here, you could see me chatting in the YouTube, but then at the same time, if I go over to Rumble, I could go put the Rumble chat in, it'll talk for me, and then I go over to the Kick chat, and it's like, yo. So you can do all of them all at once, right? Like, that's the way that it's supposed to be. That's basically all he's got to do. So it's like pretty much the easiest thing in the world. It's like, that's an easy thing. All I got to do is put my fucking chat up on the screen like that, and I can get a thing for Kick. That's crazy, man. I already did that. God, I do everything great for free. Like, I have the best shit in the world, and my show is just the worst show ever. And then it's like funny when people come in here and try to tell me your show sucks. I'm like, bro, I know my show sucks. That's why I do it. We got to have the best suckiest show on the internet. Like, if I can't be the best streamer ever, I could be the best sucky streamer. That's a win. Yes. So, yeah, the other thing that apparently he can't do is embed his stream directly on his website, which I thought is just kind of weird. So, like, he only got to do 2 things. His contract's not exclusive. He's got to have the chat up, and he can't stream it on his website. Like, he's got to send people over to Kick, which is weird because it's like, Kick, you can't differentiate the views if they're posted up over there. He can't embed that shit. Like, what the fuck? That's weird. That is weird. So I guess people are going to be really happy to see the blue-haired dipshit on the scene. I mean, I don't know why people follow this guy or like him or whatever, but then again, I don't know why people like half of these other streamers that are literally fucking some of the dumbest people that I've ever talked to in my entire fucking life. Like, I don't know why people like them, but you know what? What I've learned in my many years of life is that just people don't like smart people. They don't like us. They don't like smart people. They don't like people that are educated like me. Apparently. Oh well. What's this? Terrible people are still using forged court orders to disappear content that they don't like online. What? Interesting. Soft target DCMA with fake court orders? Wow, that kind of sounds like something that we've experienced in the past. I'm watching you, couple of individuals. Don't think that I've forgotten about you. I'm playing a game with you right now. It's the same game I play with all of my prey. I act like I'm not paying attention and you think that I haven't been watching, but I've seen everything that you've done and more. What's this? Jennifer Lawrence and A-list actors are now threatening to strike in a letter to SAG. What? Actors are gonna strike, bro? Why the fuck are the actors gonna strike? Those guys are like bajillionaires or whatever. They don't even have to fucking work every day anyway. But yeah, the Screen Actors Guild is saying that they're ready to strike for the best possible deal, but a whole lot of Hollywood actors are about to authorize a strike if their negotiating committee doesn't reach an agreement on a new contract with the major Hollywood studios by June 30th, which is in just 3 days. The SAG-AFTRA president, Fran Drescher, released a video message this week with an update on negotiations, telling members we're having extremely productive negotiations that are laser focused on the crucial issues you told us were most important to you, and we're standing strong and going to achieve a seminal deal. So yeah, all the actors might go on strike because they're not making millions of dollars, or they're not making another $1 million, or, you know, they don't get better conditions where they could get, like, you know, agave water and shit like that on the set. Like, I don't know, man, what the fuck's going on. But yes, actors like Meryl Streep, Jennifer Lawrence, Rami Malek, Quinta Berna, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Ben Stiller, Neil Patrick Harris, Amy Schumer, Amy Poehler, and a bunch of other ones that are all members of the SAG-AFTRA basically are like, yeah, we about to go on strike. And I'm not a member of the SAG or whatever because I'm not that kind of actor. So, like, I don't really give a shit about this. But I have met a lot of people, and they're like a weird fucking cult. SAG members are weird fucking cult, man. Some of the weirdest people that I've ever met in my entire life. Because they really look at that as being like, it's like being a priest or some shit like that. It's really weird. It's super weird. It's the weirdest thing ever. In other more fantastic news, the source of Anheuser-Busch's marketing that brought Dylan Mulvaney to the forefront of everybody's eyeballs and became responsible for the massive boycott that happened across the world on Bud Light is no longer employed. Oh boy, no longer employed? Are you sure? But yes, the two top Anheuser-Busch marketing executives have been placed on leave during the company shakeup and now no longer work for the brand. So Group Vice President for Marketing Daniel Blake and Bud Light Marketing Vice President Alyssa Heinerschneid are gone, according to text messages with the current regional head of marketing. The caller is granting anonymity to the sources to discuss legally fraught internal company policies. To my understanding, if we were to publicly announce the word fire, it opens up potential for them to sue us. That's why we said leave of absence. The wholesalers would have had an absolute heyday with leadership if they didn't remove her. To be fair, Daniel Blake was actually awesome. I think he was just caught in the crossfire, but also he did hire her, so that's a fault. Eesh. Wholesalers were told that they are both gone for good by leadership during the person conversations. They already shifted all their direct reports to new people at the head of marketing, and the source added in another text message obtained. So yes, they gone, and that's pretty crazy, but that's exactly how the corporate world works, man. You take something 20-30% off the bottom line of the company, your ass is gonna get fired. Your ass is gonna get fired. Your ass is also gonna get fired if you save the company money, but that's a story for another time. Thanks a lot, fucking Macy's. Thanks a lot, Walmart, you fucking pieces of shit. Also, thanks for the 10 grand though. But at the end of the day, it looks like we're finally seeing some movement out of the company. They just don't want to announce things in certain ways because, they don't want to get sued by these pieces of shit. Yep. They didn't want to get sued by these pieces of shit. And yes, the caller obtained leaked images in April that shows Heinerscheid partaking in the same behavior she seemed to be criticized during a Harvard social club event. The photos were obtained from a source who had screenshots of an album on Alyssa Gordon Heinerstein's Facebook page. The album was titled ISIS Senior Reserve Initiation Scavenger and include photos of Heinerstein and others drinking and holding up condoms to their mouth. In the article, Harvard Crimson describes the university ISIS club as a haven of inebriated ditzes. Oh, nice. Inebriated ditzes. Yeah. Nice. So the official story is that Alyssa is on a leave of absence and has not been fired from the company, but according to confidential sources inside of the company, Alyssa has been fired. They just don't want to get sued. Wow. Fantastic. Great shit. Wow, the Iran memo, we finally got to this shit, dude. I'm doing this show for too long. Iran memo is not among the 31 records in the underlying charges in the Trump federal indictment. Wait a minute, you're telling me that they made all this hubbub about some leaked phone call, about some leaked documents or whatever on CNN, and the documents that they were talking about didn't even have anything to do with the federal indictment? That's fucking funny right there, dog. These guys, I mean, goddamn, son. Y'all thought you were... The Defense Department memo on Iran at the heart of the now public audio recording that captured in the July 2021 meeting with former President Donald Trump is not part of the 31 counts of willful retention of national defense information charge of Special Counsel Jack Smith indictment on the former president, says a source familiar with the matter. In a recording of a meeting at Trump's Bedminster, New Jersey golf club, the former president can be heard apparently showing and discussing what he described as a highly confidential secret document with his aides. Sources say the documents were related to plans for a potential U.S. attack on Iran. Look, I think I actually have it. Wait, where's the fucking... Wait. Motherfucker. God! What? Where'd it go? I know I pulled that shit up. I know I fucking pulled that shit up. All right. Yeah, it was right after this one. Right after that one. Whatever. I'll just search for it again. Leak Trump. Oh, that's all I had to search for. And there it is.
It's sick, people.
That was your coup, you know, against you.
Well, it started right at the
like
beginning.
when Millie's talking
What's up,
about,
Miguel HQ on kick?
No, they were trying to do that before you even were sworn in. That's right. Trying to overthrow.
Nice of you to join
Well,
us.
with Millie, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, you know. Except it is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. Look at this. You attack, and
Hillary would print that out all the time, you know.
Hillary, you
know,
printed
she'll
it
send
out.
it to Anthony Weiner,
Yeah.
the pervert.
Please print.
By the way, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I was just saying, because we were talking about it. And
So yeah, that was the leaked audio right there that we were talking about. Well, apparently the whole hubbub about that didn't even have anything to do that, and they haven't actually found Donald Trump in possession of any of those documents. So it's a nothing burger again, but not really a nothing burger. It's done for a clear, conscientious reason, and it's obviously because they don't want him to, like win the presidency or anything like that. But based on what happened the last time and how only 36 counties are apparently needed to get all the votes, then that's really all we got to deal with, right? So if Trump isn't actually charged with unlawfully holding on to the Iran-related documents and stuff, what's the point of this even being out there in the first place? That's what you should probably really look into. And it seems like some of the more woo-woos out there, like War Clandestine, who was one of those QAnon individuals from back in the day, he says a lot about it. The DOJ leaked the Trump audio, and it was highly illegal. All the drops Trump took were already declassified and legally his property. Miley created a contingency to attack Iran when Trump backed out of the Obama-Iran deal. First, notice how the Dems always claim that they care about the integrity of law and respect the secrecy of ongoing investigations. Yet they've been leaking anything and everything that benefits them since 2016. Not a single official in the Biden regime will utter a syllable about Hunter Biden due to the ongoing investigation. The FBI won't reveal anything to the American people under the guise of sources and methods. But all throughout the Mar-a-Lago investigation, the Mueller investigations, the DAs, whatever, leaks on top of leaks, people forgot it's illegal, yet our corrupt DOJ and FBI do it all the time without consequences. And only to the deridement of Trump, never the other way around. Never. Secondly, Trump's documents were already declassified. The documents belong to him legally via the Presidential Records Act. And while the media are wild in frenzy over this audio of Trump sharing the docs with his aides, they're completely ignored that Biden's aides and lawyers are the ones who allegedly found all the Biden stolen classified documents at UPenn. The ones that he was never legally allowed to obtain, ever. The only difference is that Trump was POTUS and Biden did it when he was the vice president. One was legal, the other one was not. Yet the mainstream media and the left are foaming at the mouth over Trump's handling of documents and are completely fine with Biden's illegal handling of documents. Lastly, and most arguably, Trump legally held on to the documents to prove corruption of the deep state. In this case, Miley was planning a contingency to assault Iran when Trump pulled out of Obama's catastrophic Iran deal. While the left-wing propagandists will help with help from the DOJ, FBI leakers are trying to leverage this story to be a negative for Trump, they are conveniently ignoring the massive story exposing the Dems' plans to invade another Middle East country, which they later blamed all on Trump. Interesting, isn't it? I think it's actually pretty interesting, if you ask me. Like, very interesting. Indeed. Leaked audios, Trump. And what do we really know? Well, is that Trump tape proves that Donald Trump saved America from General Miley and getting into another war in Iran, which is the best possible move that he could have done, and they're still trying to crucify him for it. What an interesting way of moving forward. And now, a message from our economic overlord, none other than the World Economic Forum, founder Klaus Schwab, fellow member of the Illuminati, and dude that doesn't let me go to their parties anymore because I whooped his ass that one time.
Premier Li is the ex-premier of the People's Republic of China and a member of the Chinese Communist Party's Central Committee Politburo Standing Committee. Premier Li has a distinguished career in public service, having led the economic and social development of 3 major provinces, Zhejiang, Jiangsu, and Shanghai. He has also been instrumental in opening up China's capital market,
China,
attracting foreign investment and innovation, and creating new urban areas to address land scarcity. Premier Li took his office this March at China's National People's Congress at a critical moment when China adopted new COVID control measures and started to boost economic development, social dynamism, and international cooperation.
Right now, the World Economic Forum is holding their annual meeting of the New Champions 2023 in Tianjin, China, and that's happening from today, the 27th to the 29th of June. That means the World Economic Forum is currently getting in bed with the Chinese because part of their globalization efforts of unifying all of the country is making sure that China is on the side of them because they'd like to really enhance their ability to get funding from them and utilize their investments, like investments in the Belt and Road Initiative. Think about that. They're all interconnected in some way, and now he's trying to get them in on the scene, and he's basically standing there praising Chinese Communist Party officials and other people and bringing them to the forefront of all of the faces that are connected and currently at the World Economic Forum meetings. Very, very strange indeed, if you ask me. Yeah, it's fire there, Marcelo. That's fire. Some type of fire. But yes, let's praise China for adopting new Rona control measures while boosting social dynamicism at the new champions of the summer, or the Summer Davos Forum, because now they're having Davos multiple times a year in different places because they're trying to increase the globalization effort because they want the World Economic Forum to have total control. They want to be bigger than NATO. They want to be bigger than the United Nations and whatever. Think about that. Think about it. And, oh, damn, thanks, Mike Definer, for that 420 Australian in the super chat. You didn't make a message, but we still appreciate them dollars coming on through. I see that just thing pop through right now. I see it pop through right now. We're just waiting for that thing to pop up on this screen over there. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, we already looked at that one about the slaveholders. Yep, Donald Trump didn't own any slaves, but everybody else did. That's hilarious. What's this? Numerous and serious failures. Once again, thanks to Mike Finder for that super chat. We appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Numerous and serious failures by detention center staff enabled Jeffrey Epstein's suicide. Justice Department watchdog report finds. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein's suicide. Right. Like, how can they come out and say it so clearly but still fuck it up like that? Like, numerous and serious failures by the detention center staff enabled Jeffrey Epstein's murder is what it should have said. But obviously it was ruled a suicide, even though, you know, like everybody like, yeah, he suicided himself. Yeah, we believe that shit. Yeah, the pedo guy suicided himself. I'll believe it. Yeah. Also, I got a bridge in Arizona that I want to sell you. It's right under the ocean. Just fucking systematic negligence, misconduct, and overall under-resourcing among federal correction facility staff and facilities contributed to the conditions that enabled financier Jeffrey Epstein to die by murder in his cell. Suicide in his cell. The Department Inspector General concluded in his report released on Tuesday. The 66-year-old financier was found dead in his New York City jail cell in 2019, a little over a month after federal authorities took him into custody for alleged sex trafficking of minors. He was accused of exploiting and abusing dozens of underage girls and utilizing a network of employees to ensure continued access to victims, according to prosecutors. And it was ruled that on August 10th, he died by suicide, allegedly. So, why I bring it up? Well, I just bring it up because I thought it was funny. We don't have to spend too much time on this one, but it seems that there's a couple of stories that people are talking about Jeffrey Epstein, because remember, I've been digging into this since 2017, far longer than anyone else has ever actually even known about the situation, and that shocks people. And now folks are starting to make some interconnections between JP Morgan Chase and Jeffrey Epstein and this guy, billionaire James Crown, who died from a mysterious car accident. And James Crown was once considered to be Barack Obama in Barack Obama's inner circle. He was appointed by Obama in 2014 to serve on his intelligence advisory board. And what a lot of people's thoughts are saying is that he was taken out. It sounds like JP Morgan is cleaning up some loose ends of their criminal crime syndicate, and their list of criminal behaviors has basically been growing. So here's a list of some of the stuff that they have gotten into trouble with. There was the ship that was seized with $1.3 billion in cocaine that was owned by JP Morgan Chase. That also birthed the name Cocaine Mitch, or Cocaine Mitch McConnell, if you didn't remember. In April of 2023, JP Morgan's bombshell Jeffrey Epstein messages were revealed, and executives joked about 16-year-old Miley Cyrus and Sugar Daddy. May 2023, Jeffrey Epstein files a trove of never-before-seen emails and calendars that included JP Morgan executives as well as big celebrities and political elites. Also in May 2023, a former JP Morgan banking chief, Jess Stanley, is accused of aggressively raping Jeffrey Epstein victim with his permission. In May of 2023, U.S. Virgin Islands can't find Google co-founder Larry Page to subpoena him in a lawsuit against JP Morgan Chase for enabling Epstein's sex trafficking ring. We also have Jeffrey Epstein use the U.S. Virgin Islands First Ladies to remain unchecked in his sex trafficking scheme, JP Morgan claims in a court filing. In June of 2023, JP Morgan agrees to pay Epstein victims $290 million in a historic class action lawsuit settlement after it was revealed the bank continued to do business with him years despite labeling him a high-risk client. Also in the same month, the report concluded that in 2019, Epstein regularly gave personal and business advice to former JP Morgan chief Jess Stanley and set up meetings with government officials. Also in the same month, BlackRock JP Morgan set up a reconstruction bank for the Ukraine. And JP Morgan Chase mistakenly deleted 47 million emails permanently.
Official cause of death. Businessman James Crown has died. He died in a single vehicle accident at the Aspen Motorsports Park in Colorado. Crown collided with an impact barrier. The official cause of death is pending an autopsy, but the coroner's office says multiple blunt force trauma was evident. Crown was part of the billionaire Crown family and owned Aspen Skiing Company. He was 70 years old. Businessman James Crown
crashed into something. Interesting. Interesting. Indeed. I just kind of give you a little bit of a taste. But more people have looked into this guy, like his family, for the philanthropist that died mysteriously. It's unclear if it was an accident or something more. Either way, let's have a look at who he was. Like his father, Lester Crown. Lester was a Jewish billionaire who controls family holdings, includes large stakes in Maytags, Hilton Hotels, Altel, Aspen Ski Company, and New York's Rockefeller Center, as well as pro basketball's Chicago Bulls. He was also a huge supporter and fundraiser for Barack Obama. While my involvement in politics is motivated by a variety issue, there is one issue that is fundamental: my deep commitment to Israel and strong U.S.-Israel relationship that strengthens both Israel's security and its efforts to seek peace. According to the White House visitor logs, Crown visited the White House in April of 2010 to meet with Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett. Amos Yeldon went to Chicago to enlist Crown's help in persuading the administration to attack Iran. I wish officials were a little more outgoing in the way that we have talked. I would have feel more comfortable if they knew we had the will to use military force as a last resort. You cannot threaten someone as a bluff. There has to be a will to do it. No one becomes a serious presidential contender without first passing the muster with Lester Crown of the Worlds. Lester Crown was not an elected official. Crown's October 2007 fundraiser was mostly Jewish fundraisers who were still unconvinced that Obama would maintain good relations with Israel. The purpose of this evening is to show Barack how appreciative we are for his steadfast, honest, and proud support of Israel. His generosity has touched many people in Chicago and beyond. We in Chicago are proud to share our city with someone who truly values public service. Rahm Emanuel. Lester was the chairman of the Chicago Board of Affairs and deputy chairman of the International Board of the Weizmann Institute of Science in Israel and a member of the Tel Aviv University Board of Governors. He gave millions to the Brandeis University. That all of a sudden sounds like that. He sounds a whole lot like that other guy or whatever, Robert Maxwell, doesn't he? Lester married Renee Sine, daughter of Junius, Latvian Jewish hotel theater tycoon and Orange Glove Theaters, Sine's Auburn Fielders, and several hotels, including the Ambassador Hotel. The Ambassador Hotel housed the famed Coconut Grove nightclub and is where RFK was killed. Scheinel's brother Gerard was the central figure in the Army McCarthy hearings of 1954 as the chief consultant for the Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations, and his pamphlet Definition of Communism was distributed throughout all of their hotel chains. This pamphlet promoted Russia-Jewish communist George Slosky and introduced his protege, Senator Joseph McCarthy, to Roy Cohn and David G. Sine. Here's a picture of it. Not really part of the story, but Solonovsky's right-wing politics seem odd to me, considering that he was once a Bolshevik. Suddenly, the flaming radical Slosky became a flaming reactionary. Let's go even further into the past. Lester's father, James's grandfather, Henry Crown, original Krinsky, founded the Material Service Corporation, which later merged with General Dynamics, which is the fifth largest defense contractor in the entire world that creates jet engines and missiles and nuclear shit, all kinds of shit, man. They create all kinds of shit. Henry has a lot of alleged ties to the mob, mostly Jewish, Khazarian, and Italian mobsters like Al Capone, Sam Giancana, Tony Alvarado, Frank Nitti, and Jewish gangster Mo Dalitz. They all used lawyer Sidney Korshak, the lawyer and fisher for the Chicago outfit. Hang with me, this is Charles Corky Goodman, vice chairman of Henry Crown & Co., the son of Irving Crown, Henry Crown's brother. He also helped found General Dynamics. He also has got Charles Goodman, who is married to Maggie Korshak, the daughter of former Chicago boss and city treasurer Marshall Korshak and the brother of Sidney. Sidney Korshak was to all that was dark. His legend beguiled the legendary. He was a hidden mystery in the heart of the furnace of illusion and delusion. To some, he was evil incarnate. To others, he was the nicest guy in the world. otherwise known as the man who kept secrets. Interesting. So there's definitely some kind of thought here that this could be some kind of like Jewish Khazarian mafia killer explosion type deal. Very, very interesting. They really did a good thing. When Henry Crown was chairman of General Dynamics, employee, former FBI agent and close associate of Edgar J. Hoover, I.B. Hale, was allegedly caught tapping the phone of JFK mistress Judith Eisner, who had ties to Sam Giancana and Johnny Roselli, both targets of RFK, and you remember JFK got killed too. And a lot of people said it was like the mob or the FBI. Kind of seems like somebody's really getting in deep over here. Albert E. Jenner, who was part of the Warren Commission to investigate the JFK assassination shortly after, was also counsel for General Dynamics. In fact, he represented them through a large number of scandals Texas exposed by the DOJ. Interesting. Contractors like General Dynamics are no longer simply manufacturing weapons. They're involved in military operations, target killings, and surveillance. They stand to make a lot of money with an extended war in Ukraine. General Dynamics Co. said its jet aviation business is likely to be impacted by Western sanctions on Moscow over its invasion of Ukraine, the weapons maker said JP Morgan Industrial Conferences on Wednesday. JP Morgan settled for $290 million in a class action lawsuit for dealing with high-risk client Jeffrey Epstein, deleted 47 million emails, and got busted for shipping cocaine. Think about that. Think about that. Think about it. Boom, ba-da-doo, boom, ba-da-doom. We're coming for your children. What? The Coming for Your Children chant has been used for years at Pride events, according to longtime march attendees and gay rights activists who said it's one of the many proactive expressions used to regain control of the slurs against LGBTQ people. Yeah, I don't think that that's what that means, actually, at all. I think it means exactly what it says it means. It means that these old creepy weirdos are saying that they're coming for your children because they want to have sex with them. And it's always meant that from when they started saying it in the beginning, because we're coming for your children has nothing to do with regaining control of slurs, right? At least they're getting ratioed to shit on Twitter for their stupidity, is what I'm talking about. Oh, wow. You see this over here on the side? It says Michael Ray Corey is co-hosting 5th Gen Warfare Night Shift. They're talking about 5th generational warfare. I was just talking about that last night on fucking Spaces. And I even posted the Bible for 5th generational warfare on my Twitter. And look, Michael Ray Corey's already out there talking about it. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, see, I just want to say, that's how fucking shitty these people are, is that they literally fucking just follow me and what I say, and then tomorrow, the very next day, in fact, in most cases, they will just start talking about whatever I was discussing because they don't have any brains of their own and they don't know how to research anything. But here, I'm going to show you right now. I'm just scrolling down through it. I'm just doing it slow because I thought it was going to be funny. But, like, literally, like, it just doesn't make any goddamn sense. Oh, and I've been fighting with Tori again, so I need to do another thread on her. But yeah, 20 hours ago, where did I post? I just said 5th generational warfare, and then I posted the link to unrestricted warfare. And when I posted this, I was literally sharing it to a space where we were talking about that. And now those fucking dipshits are talking about it within themselves like they've even read the fucking book. Like, seriously, motherfuckers? Like, I even posted the book. How to deal with the new concept of war that the Chinese people put forward in battle of exceeding the limit and the counter, Chinese edition by Q Lang. and this is the book that I was talking about. It's called Transfinite War and Anti-Transfinite War, which is basically the Bible about fifth generational warfare. Why did they do this? And it's even connected to this. Unrestricted warfare. 2 Air Force senior colonels on scenarios for war and operational art in the era of globalization. Interesting. This was the first book that talked about how to start fifth generational warfare. And this is the book that's the Bible on fifth generational warfare. And yes, it is like $70 fucking dollars. It's expensive as fuck. So I just thought that was funny. I just literally noticed that. I'm just like, dude, these motherfuckers just can never come up with their own shit. Yeah, dude, let's talk about fifth generational warfare. Okay. Yeah. I hope he gets sucked in. But yeah, at least we know that they're watching our show and stealing our shit. It's just stupid. Well, that's all I got for you today. We've talked a lot of interesting things, and now it's time for me to go. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed rest of your evening. I appreciate everybody becoming members and giving us super chats and stuff. That's always really nice when we get a couple of dollars coming in over here on the Griftcast. Because, you know, like, apparently that's what the show is about, but we do it anyway. It just doesn't matter or whatever. So either way, make sure you share this with your friends. Hit the like button, subscribe, follow button, whatever. And we'll see you guys again on the next one. So, bye-bye now. Peace. Have a nice day. See you later.